Hello, everyone. Welcome to Inspired to Thrive Empowerment Summit with our first guest, Cara Cifelli. And I hope
Yes.
I said that right. She is an absolutely amazing soul. She is a holistic health coach and empowerment coach just for rocking out females' lives. She works with amazing, high achieving females that just really want to blast off and heal their relationship with food so they can take it to the next level. She is also a two-time published author. Yes, she is. Her first book is Body Wisdom, and her next book, coming out in January 2020, is Vegan Foodable, which I am so excited about because if you have not seen her food, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. We'll leave it at there, but I'm going to let her kind of take it away. So welcome on board.
Yes. Thank you so much for that fabulous introduction.
You know, girl.
I'm I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. Yeah, I am so passionate about helping women move out of the way, whatever is in their way. And the women that I work with, what's in their way is food and body stuff. Body image struggles, low confidence, low self-esteem, obsessive, all-consuming thoughts about food. And I really truly believe from my own life experience that like that will literally stop us from evolving into our next level, having the confidence, peace, freedom, ease, fun, play that we want in our lives, success in our lives if we don't heal that. And so I want to support people in transforming that so they can really like step into their power and their purpose and their bigness.
I 100% agree with you. And I had to take that journey to get to where I am today. But with that said, I would love to kind of tap into your journey and what led you to this point in time.
Mm. Like many, I started to become aware of the fact that my body was judged by others and that our bodies were a thing of value, this potential thing that could grant us social currency, right? Like, depending on what we look like, we'd kind of get rewarded or punished in society. And so I started to restrict my food very casually. When I first started, I don't think that I wasn't really like, this is going to develop into an eating disorder. I was just like going on Atkins with my mom, who was a chronic dieter as well, who struggled with body image as well. Like the way she talked about her body ended up being the way that I talked about my body. But eventually it snowballed into a big, hairy problem. I developed an eating disorder. And that stayed with me for 10 years. And the thinking about food all day long was one of the things that was most painful, but also really waking up and looking in the mirror and hating my body and micromanaging my body and really being so afraid of what people were going to think of me based on what I looked like really took up a lot of brain space. And eventually, like long story short, I got to a place where I literally was like, I'm either going to get better or I'm going to die. Like, I can't do this anymore. I'm miserable. And I feel like I've tried everything except actually taking recovery seriously. So I hit a rock bottom. Like I really got to a place where every single day was difficult and it didn't matter how great my life looked on the outside, like living in Los Angeles, having a boyfriend, having a career, having friends, like it looked sparkly on the outside, but I was just miserable and I had to be honest with myself. And it was from that really, really low point, that rock bottom point, that I was really able to rebuild my life and take recovery seriously. And I just knew that I was never going back and I haven't looked back since.
Right on, right on. I feel like once you're able to get into that awareness that you need to change and something needs to move, it helps you kind of push forward. And then going from when you were kind of at the point where you knew you had to make a change into your life and to now, what do you feel within like your confidence level, within your growth level? How do you feel that you kind of excelled through that process?
Mm, well, I got help. I didn't seek traditional eating disorder treatment. I actually went down the personal development route,
Okay.
which is actually probably why I am a coach and why I'm so involved in personal development work, because it was that really that transformed my life. I utilize health at every size and intuitive eating in my own practice and in my own methodologies, but I really lean towards the personal development side. So people who are drawn to that would be drawn to me, whereas other people just focus on like intuitive eating or et cetera, et cetera. Um, so it was a journey and a process. Like, it had lots of ups and downs. And truthfully, it wasn't really about fixing the food, which is why diving into personal development work helped me heal, because it wasn't about the food and it wasn't really about what my body looked like. For me, it was actually about like childhood trauma. And it was about looking back at these like really vivid memories that I had where I got hurt. And then I made this decision to be a certain way to try to protect myself from feeling that hurt again in the future. And so I had to take a look at my past, really. And it was by making peace with my past, healing my relationship with my parents, looking at the limiting beliefs that I had about myself, that I was actually really able to create freedom in my future. So for me, it was a lot of inner work.
Mhm.
And the other component of that, in addition to the inner work, was actually taking a look at how society had sort of socialized me and conditioned me to believe certain things and to be a certain way, and then deciding that I was going to make my own rules. And I have this motto now that the only rule is there are no rules, and I can do whatever I want. And in order for me to get to this place, it's been a continual process. Like, I've been working on myself since I realized personal development work was a thing. I've been invested in it and in myself.
Mhm.
Um, but those were the two big components, was my past and what I thought I needed to be valued and loved in society.
Okay, okay, right on. I do feel like within healing my journey as well, I did the personal development route. That's how I kind of went through the process as well. And I think it's a beautiful way to go. And I feel like everyone has their own route of healing, and whichever way you take to get to that next chapter is amazing. And then with that said as well, so when you started to kind of, because there's so many areas of personal development, but what was your kind of first niche that you dived into? Or yeah, what was your first niche that you dived into kind of to start tackling with it?
Mm. Well, the one of the biggest things that I learned that helped me was actually discovering um, that I was not my thoughts.
Mhm.
Actually developing the awareness and the tools to become the observer of my thoughts,
Mhm.
and to realize that I might have the thought to like punch someone in the face, but I don't have to act on it. So
Exactly.
just like I could have the thought that I'm like a worthless, ugly, disgusting human being, I could also be like, maybe that's not true. And so the first tool that I learned was how to observe my mindset and to cultivate a more empowering mindset, making my thoughts an object of my awareness and choosing more empowering ones, to not necessarily identify and react to the thoughts, but rather witness and choose to replace them if necessary. Um, yeah. So that was like the first big tool.
Okay. Okay. When you said, I feel like being awareness is everything. It's crazy how much you can kind of change your thought process when you're aware of how you're thinking and you're aware of how your thoughts are kind of playing a part in your day. And also going back to like society, being aware of how much society places on us and changes our thoughts, because a lot of thoughts that we have about our body growing up, it's not from us. It could potentially be from our parents or someone in our family, but the majority is from society. Like, my mom never put pressure on me to be stick thin and skinny, but I watched how people were interacting in society and media, and that's what kind of made me become and go to the point where I had like an eating disorder, things like that.
Yeah,
So
diet culture programming, man, it's real.
it's so real. It's so real. And then so if someone is they're kind of just beginning to be aware of like they have work to do, what would you say to someone that is scared of taking that healing journey?
Mm. Mm.
I know, right?
Well, not to be too cliche here, but your fears are there for a reason, and you have the option to let your fears, quote, keep you safe and keep you small, right? Because that's what they're there to do. They're there to try to keep you safe, but really what they do is they stop you from progressing. And so your fears are actually kind of like a flag in the sand of letting you know, like, hey, that's the direction that we need to go to so that we can get to our next level. And I truly believe that if we're waiting for fear to disappear, we're going to be waiting forever. And the longer we, the more we let that fear drive us back or keep us from being in action, the stronger the fear becomes in our brain. Like, there's neuroscience to back this up. So I truly believe that the only way to overcome our fears is to prove them wrong through action. I truly believe that action breeds confidence. And it is through messy and perfect action and a relentless commitment to whatever it is we're working towards that we're going to move past those things. So I get the fear, and you can let the fear stop you, or you can choose to act in the face of it. But regardless, fear is going to be there. It's a part of being a human being. Um, so, what I would say to someone is to get present to what it's costing you to be where you're at.
Mhm.
One of the things that propelled me to wanting to get better was because I was just like, it costed me too much to be where I was at. My eating disorder was literally taking my life from me in every sense of the word. And so one of the things that supports me always in facing my fears is actually getting present to how uncomfortable my quote comfort zone has become. Because if you're staying stuck, while it might feel comfortable and safe, it's actually really painful and uncomfortable. And so get present to what it's costing you to be where you're at, and then let yourself get present to your desires. Not only the desires for what you want, but the desires for what you don't want. Because both of them are equal in driving us into action. So we could have the desire to not be afraid of food. We can have the desire to not continue to drink coffee instead of have meals. We could have the desire to not wake up and look in the mirror and hate ourselves every day. And those desires are going to be just as potent and influential as the desires of, I want food freedom. I want confidence. I want to not be thinking about food all day long. So I invite you to get present to all of your desires and let them move you, because when you're led by desire, you're more likely to stay in action and have faith in yourself through the process.
100% agreed with that. And I feel like I've gotten to the point of using fear as my leading tool, as you said before. Whenever I kind of go to the next step and anything starts to kind of scare me, it really makes me think, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing. So I believe that fear can be used as a tool for you and a guidance area, just like you said, 100% with that. And it gets down to the point of going back to awareness. When you are in the midst of having an eating disorder and not the perfect relationship with food, it truly does not allow you to excel in ways that you don't even know you can excel because you're so stuck within that thought process of this is my life. This is the body that I'm achieving. This is the diet that I'm eating. And you're constantly just kind of rotating around those thoughts process that everything gets bypassed. And since you're on the other side of it and you can kind of look back and see where you were then, do you feel like what you have achieved to this day, do you feel like you could have achieved it with still being in that process of not healing your eating disorder? Or do you feel like the reason you are here today is because you took that route?
Yeah, yeah. So to some degree, it's difficult to say where I would be had I not chose healing. However, I don't think that I would have ever cultivated the belief within myself to try things. and to take action and to go after. So I don't think that I would be able to be where I'm at had I not gone through that process, partly because the career that I do is helping women get through what I was going through. But aside from that, like showing up online, sharing topics and ideas that are controversial and polarizing, starting a business, like leaving a 9 to 5, like taking all of these like big, hairy risks, you
Mhm.
know, and taking these actions, like I don't, I just didn't have confidence back then in myself in like much at all. Like,
Mhm.
and so I don't think so that I would be here. I can actually say that with certainty. I'd be doing something else for sure, but I also know that I wouldn't have the peace and the sanity and the freedom that I feel every single day had I not done the work. And like everything else in my exterior life aside, it's the internal state of being that to me is worth it beyond anything exterior.
No, I agree with that too. I don't feel like I would be in this position because I feel like as I went through my journey of healing, it did give me that confidence that I didn't know I had. And I felt like I had confidence, but it was like, um, it wasn't real confidence. It was just me showing up, pretending like, okay, I got this, but it was like, it wasn't inside of me. But now that confidence has become real.
Hmm.
And that confidence has led me to kind of just show up and be present for other females as well, which I think is absolutely beautiful. The same thing that you do. It's like you took your journey and you turned it into a process to help others, which I think is absolutely amazing. So kudos to you.
Back
um,
at ya.
yeah. And then I also feel like when it comes to kind of a lot of people see health as in, oh, it's just weight loss. So anything kind of out of that realm is a little bit nerve wracking or a little bit in a way where it's like they don't know what the process is. So if you can kind of tell us about one of your clients or kind of working with you, and what does that process look like, or what have you seen your females transition from to transition to with putting in the work?
Man, well,
I know so many.
um, before I dive in, you've embodied the confidence, is what I see, right? Embodiment is so different than an intellectual understanding of things, which is so beautiful. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. That gave me chills when you were saying that.
Oh,
But yeah, so weight loss. Yeah. Through, I think, viewing weight loss as health, right, or seeing thinness as health is a very siloed, limited scope. And it's making the assumption that like all weight loss is good and all weight gain is bad. And that could not be more false. And just for the sake of time, I won't like dive down the rabbit hole of like health at every size. But for those curious, like health at every size is a great resource to learn about weight science. But viewing health in a silo as only being weight loss and being only focused on the physical body is often what leads to us being really unhealthy because it puts our mental, emotional, and spiritual health at risk. And what ends up happening is we prioritize our physical body over these other elements, these other core pillars of what health actually really is. So, what I've seen through the process with women has not only a broadening of what health actually means, creating their own definition for themselves, and not putting so much pressure on the physical body because when we fixate on the physical body, we're missing the point of health, because what ends up happening is we're like so fixated on eating healthy that we like skip out on life. We don't go to the barbecue. We don't go to the restaurant. We stay locked up in our room, binge eating on food. And isn't the point of taking care of our health so that we can live a more enjoyable life? And if taking care of your health is making you fucking miserable, oh, can I swear?
no, girl, get it. Yeah.
Okay. Then isn't it it's like defeating the point to begin with. So the process has not only been that, right, broadening our perspective of health, but like the transformations that I witness women go through blow my mind, because it's not just siloed to the food and the body stuff. It means that they leave toxic careers. Like I've had women work with me who end up like realizing that they want a divorce. Not that like we should celebrate divorce per se, rather celebrate a woman choosing herself and raising the bar in how she's willing to be, in the treatment she's willing to take, right? Creating a new standard for herself and her life. I've seen women change careers, um, leave toxic relationships, like transform their friends group, become advocates for themselves, and you know stop this destructive narrative from continuing on in the family, like supporting their moms in changing their relationship with their bodies by healing themselves. Like the transformations end up being all over the place. It's like there's no limit to what can happen, because when you raise the bar, when you heal your relationship with food, you heal your relationship with yourself, therefore you heal your relationship with life, right? Like everything changes. You're a whole ecosystem. So it's just amazing.
No, I agree with you 100%. And um, I loved how passionate you got with saying that. Literally, as you were saying it, my body was just feeling with like, oh my God, yes, this is why I love this girl. Because it's crazy. Like I say to myself, this is how I explain it. As of once I went through that healing journey, I literally took the whole sun and put it inside of me and it just beams out. And that's how I feel. I just feel warm as hell inside. And I think with that process, even though it might be scared and you don't know where you're going to get to, it's the process of going through it makes you learn so much about yourself. And just kind of going through that in general is a gift to yourself. It's definitely a gift to yourself, because I feel like as well within society, we kind of just we have this persona that we're supposed to lead up to, but until you do the internal work, you get to when you do the internal work, you get to find your own persona. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I dig it. I
Just
dig it.
cosign.
Yes. Okay, so if there are females out there that are just ready to heal their relationship with food and like, yes, I want to dive in. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. How can they find you? And what are your programs like?
Thank you. I'm online, Kara's Kitchen. You can find me there. Kara the Seat Kitchen with a K on Instagram, and karaskitchen.net are like where I'm hanging out. And my programs are one-on-one and groups, and I'm really excited. I'm actually taking my first group through a virtual program, and wraps up with a retreat. So the program's called Food Body Soul, and I'm really excited to host my first in-person retreat. This has been a desire of mine in my brain for some time, and I'm really stoked about it being actualized and like brought to life. And Food Body Soul has been so beautiful. The women are so supportive of one another, and they're having massive breakdowns, but they're also having massive breakthroughs. And the bigger the breakdown, the bigger the breakthrough. So it's confronting work, and it's work that takes courage and relentless commitment to choosing yourself and the life that you want. And I'm going to do Food Body Soul again in December. I'll be re-enrolling for another round to start in January. So I don't know when this goes. Oh, this goes live, yeah, at the end of November. So
You guys got time to sign up.
yeah, I'm really loving this program, and I want the next round to really be about women who are here to do big shit.
Yeah.
Like high achieving women, whether it's climbing the corporate ladder, making more money, starting a business, like just women who are really ready to blaze their own path and pave their own path to freedom and self-expression. Like the next round of Food Body Soul is really what this is about, like soul aligned living and all that. So
I
thank you for letting me share about that.
Oh, of course. You are doing amazing work, and I want everybody to know about it. Everybody to know about it. And as well, would you mind touching on your book, Body Wisdom, just in case people are kind of not yet ready for the coach, but want to start doing work?
Yeah, of course. Okay. So Body Wisdom was really written out of not feeling physically well. Like I felt really unwell in my body, really unhealthy, like digestive issues, brain fog, headaches, acne, joint pains. And I had kind of tried everything that the outside world had kind of told me to make myself feel better. Like what ended up happening as a result of having an eating disorder and being caught up in diet culture is that I kind of listened to everybody else and disregarded my own body signals and cues. I wasn't listening to my body. And what I have come to discover and learn and believe is that the way of eating that is going to be right for you is going to be different than the way of eating that's right for me, that we're all bio individually unique. And the right way of eating is going to be unique to you because your body is unique. You're one of a kind. And so Body Wisdom was is a book about how I actually started to listen to my body and figure out the way of eating that was right for me. And I walk you through the steps that I took so that you can actually take the steps for yourself. So it's not only like a book, but it's like a workbook. So at the end of each chapter, there's different actions that you can take so that you can start the discovery process on your own, so that you can learn to listen to your body and become your own health expert. Because when we listen to the outside world, it clogs up our internal information system and we can't hear our body. So the whole purpose of the book is to actually support you in reconnecting to your body and making food choices based on what is going to be satisfying and nourishing to you, what is actually going to make you feel physically well. Um, and yeah, it's a great book. I love it. It's helped lots of people,
Yeah.
and lots of people have read that book and then ended up working with me as a coach. So I'd like to say that it works.
Yeah. No, it works. It definitely works. And I feel like wherever you are at in your journey, take any step forward. Any step forward is the best step forward. And just go from there. Don't feel like you have to make the leap in. Just whatever feels comfortable for you to start and then blast off, go for that 100%. And then I would like to ask you one more question. So, what would be your number one tip for food empowerment to someone?
Food empowerment. Break the rules. Say fuck the rules, break
Yeah,
the rules, make your own rules. Just start listening to yourself and trusting yourself, you know. Um, that's the path to food freedom. Is choosing yourself and listening to yourself and not all of the outside diet rules, you know?
true. Yes, yes. Well said. It's literally all about you guys. It's and your body is there to support you and your body is there to moderate for you, but just that connection is golden. So,
Mm. Mhm.
girl, thank you so much for joining us on this summit. I know that people are going to get so much information out of this, and just hearing you speak is amazing and inspiring. It's like we do the same work, but it's like it's always amazing to hear how other people kind of put it into words. So, thank you for being just amazing.
Yay. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here. This was so fun.
Good, 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 good.
Yeah.
And of course, for you guys, I will put all of her links within the email, and you will be able to find her in any way possible that you can. And you should find this girl. If you are on that food healing journey, find this girl. Trust me, find her. So thank you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.